back in the day, Jackie Burke and Paul Runyon, Jackie Burke always said to me, he always anchored. They didn't know I was anchoring. He would turn this arm as far as he could this way and put it on. He would turn this arm as far as he could this way, stick it in his belly, and then bend over and just leave everything like connected. That was kind of Paul Runyon. So he turned the left all the way, the right all the way. That's taking out slack. They put it down in their gut, felt like it was right here in my gut, and I'm just using everything. That's a good method. And I'm not going to tell you which method is going to be the best for you. The one I had a lot of success with was with Craig Foster, was taking out the slack a different way that Bryson was doing it, or a lot of the guys now are talking about taking out slack. If you ever see the video, Stroke of the Future, you can see it on secretgolf.com. Two bones in the forearm here, they're crossed. There's a lot of range of motion there. And then the wrist, we've got a lot of range of motion here, and we've got motion here. So we could take some of that out, take all that out, and put it on. So now I've got that real thin flying wedge right there. I feel like I've got a lot of drag on the club right now. That feels good to me. Get those balls back. So a lot of people would say, well, what's the most important thing about putting? Is it that, have you got to get it, you've got to get it started on line, you've got to have the right speed, you've got to hit it in the center of the face. Of course, the most important is hitting it with a 90-degree angle. That accommodates about 60% of a made putt. The other 20%, there's 40 left, about another 25 or 28% is hitting it in the center of the face. If you don't hit it in the center, it doesn't have the energy to get on the break that you picked, and it won't get there. Third one, least important, is the path, because we know that we've seen famous tour players that have, crazy paths, but they still make putts. So they got a corresponding face angle when they do these crazy strokes. So most important is 90 degrees. But I kind of think, for me, I sort of feel like the most important thing for me is that I want to know I'm going to hit it solid. This putter, I used it one time in tournaments. It's a little shorter than mine. I don't feel as good. Before I get into that, I'm going to talk about what I do. I talked about taking this slack out, and that slack out, putting it on. Then I want to take a little bit more, throw both arms over. Now you can see that blade is to the left. I'm just going to move my hips down the line. So now I have total control of that blade now. So I took all that out, and that out, put it on, put a little bit more out. So now I've kind of gone to an end range. If that putter was looking at the camera, that's 12 o'clock. I put it to about 11 o'clock. I'm not afraid to put that down because I'm going to kick my hips forward, and you'll be able to see that I've got tremendous drag on that stroke. Drag meaning that every component is ahead of the trailing component. So shoulder, forearm, wrist, grip, shaft, head. There's no kicking ahead by anything else. It's always on a drag motion. So I'm going to take all that out, kick it in there. Now I'm good there. I feel like I got tons of drag on that. I can hit that. And then once I feel like I could hit the putt, I would, then I could really tune into the read.